I honestly have restarted this video 3 times now because it's the weirdest video that I've ever started, I think, talking about my first trimester, talking about being pregnant. I'm now 13 weeks pregnant, but I mean, I don't look pregnant. People at work now know that I'm pregnant. My friends now know that I'm pregnant, but it still feels really, really fresh. So it feels really weird talking about it to you guys, but I know how helpful these videos were for me when I was at the very start of the first trimester / pretty much the whole way through up until, I don't know, this week. And even like the trying to conceive videos and all of that. Before I got pregnant even, I was watching these videos because I just wanted to know what was going to come. Slightly because I have emetophobia, so I have a fear of vomiting, sickness, the noise, the sound, the look, anyone else doing it anywhere near me. I've been known to wear earbuds occasionally to block out the noise, or headphones, anyway. So I had quite a few fears around this phase. And this is actually going to be a really positive video. My first trimester was a really positive experience, which I didn't expect. There's so much coverage out there, there's so many videos out there that people are doing now about the negative side of pregnancy, and that it's not all smiles and like baby showers and celebrating and all of that. It's not all that. I'll be honest, it's been exhausting. But I'm not gonna accentuate the bad just because I feel like that's what we should be doing now, so that people feel like they're not shocked when they get into the first trimester, because my experience hasn't been terrible. I'm actually really enjoying pregnancy, so I thought I would share it with you guys. So I was editing this video this morning and it struck me that I've completely fallen prey to the pressure around social media and YouTube in particular, where you constantly say that you feel grateful for something good happening and almost undermine or actually ignore the negativities of that. So before I go into this, I wanted to preface this by saying, if like me, you have very few pregnancy symptoms, please don't fall prey, as I did, to feeling like you have to constantly say, I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful, it's been fantastic, because actually having very few pregnancy symptoms brings on a significant amount of anxiety in itself. The worry for those 12 weeks when you're not having scans, when you're not seeing a midwife, when you know that so many miscarriages happen, and also missed miscarriages. So there are a significant proportion, or not a significant proportion, but there are a proportion of miscarriages that happen without any side effects or symptoms. And so you can still think that you're pregnant and then you get to your 12-week scan and there's nothing, or the baby's died, or something has happened. And so sometimes having symptoms is better than not having them, because whenever I had a day and I woke up and I felt nothing, you don't feel pregnant, and it's a very anxious time. There were so many days when I woke up and I thought, God, I wish I felt sick, or I wish I had fluctuating hormones making me feel really upset or really angry, or I wish I had lots of food cravings, because actually that would have told me that things were still happening, which is ridiculous, but humans are not always logical. So I guess before we get into the video, I just wanted to kind of stop myself and say, kind of ignore me when I'm saying, I mean, I appreciate, I am very grateful that I didn't have lots and lots of sickness, but that doesn't mean that it's not okay to also feel the negativity of not having symptoms. So that's all from me. I guess carry on and enjoy the video. So I was gonna do a separate video on trying to conceive, but actually we conceived straight away. We were incredibly lucky, like incredibly lucky. We decided we were gonna start trying for a baby, and then literally the first time. Bizarrely, we were watching Aliens when we conceived. I really hope the birth isn't anything like Aliens. If anyone's you've seen that? Ugh. But saying that, I did everything right. Like, I got us on the pregnancy vitamins, I was drinking the right amount of water, we were eating all the recommended foods, I wasn't taking any hot baths, I was doing the ovulation sticks constantly, like we had sex numerous times in like that 12-hour period where you're supposed to make sure you get pregnant. So the stars aligned, I guess, / a lot of me scheduling everything. It was the least sexy conception ever, potentially. But we are where we are. So I found out I was pregnant in early May, and I could have found out a week earlier actually. I'm the least patient person you could ever meet. But I was away on a solo travel in Scotland. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I do these solo travels to shoot my content occasionally. And so I had driven up to Scotland and I was so convinced that I was pregnant. The earliest signs for me were about 8 to 9 days post-ovulation, and I had that weird, almost like stomach cramps, but not quite stomach cramps. cramps. They were really, it was like I was about to come on my period, and I had a really bad like backache. I had to keep putting the heated seats on in the car because my lower back was really killing me. And I had like a sudden feeling of feeling quite queasy just on day 8 or 9. And then for the following days, I just felt a little bit strange. I didn't feel normal. I felt really, really thirsty. I felt constantly need to go to the bathroom. And I generally always need to go to the bathroom anyway. I have a tiny bladder, but this was like next level. Like I was constantly getting out of the car to pee at the side of the road. It was non-manageable at all. And I was just so thirsty. Like I was thinking maybe I've got diabetes, like I cannot stop drinking water. I must have been drinking like 4 litres of water a day. It was crazy. But then so I drove home, and I think I've actually got a video from that time. Let me just insert it here so you can see when I was over in Scotland. Hey all. I'm not sure if you're supposed to start these videos until you actually find out you're pregnant, or if it's beneficial while you're in this 2-week wait. I am in the 2-week wait, but I am, as you can see, I'm in a hotel on my own. I'm doing a trip to Scotland, a shooting trip, and technically I can find out that I am pregnant or not. Technically today I think I'm 11 DPO, which is days post ovulation, and I hate jinxing things, but I have a feeling that I am. And I know this is like when you go and see a house for the first time and you think it's the house, like the first house you see, because it's the first month that we've tried. And it would be insane. It would be insane if we're pregnant. But yesterday, yesterday and the day before, on my like 10 I'm 10 days now, so it was my 9 days yesterday. I had really bad stomach cramps all day and really bad lower backache. I was so thirsty, couldn't stop peeing, still can't stop peeing all the time, which was really annoying because I just drove to Scotland from Preston and had to keep stopping at the services. It's not ideal. I already need to wee every like hour, so add to that increased urination, and it was great. Anyway, and I've just been feeling a little bit exhausted and slightly lightheaded whenever I stand up. And I don't know if this is just because I know the sorts of symptoms you could get, but I'm not imagining like boob pain or anything. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that, I guess, because I'm alone in this room and I can't stop doing that thing where you watch lots of YouTube videos and decide that you are 100% pregnant. And obviously I'm putting it off because I want to be back at home when I check, because I want to be with Hugh. If like, how rubbish would it be if I found out I was pregnant and I was stuck in Scotland until Saturday? So being patient. Although actually this weekend will be the first day that I'm supposed to miss a period, so it would be more accurate anyway. My arm's hurting. Why did I decide to hold the camera up? On a shoot in Scotland. Ooh, covered in bits. It's kind of just dawned on me that if I am pregnant, which this morning I felt very sick when I woke up, which could have been because it was 3 AM and I was leaving the hotel. Might have been morning sickness. I don't know. It was a weird sickness. It was like, I didn't feel ill. I just very suddenly felt sick. I don't know if you can understand that distinction unless you've had it. Anyway, it just dawned on me that if I am pregnant, this could be the last Scotland trip I do ever, or solo trip anyway. And if I am, this technically isn't a solo trip because there'll be a little person with me. Just a thought. So then when I got home from Scotland and I took the pregnancy test, I'd already bought it weeks before because I knew I would be getting home from Scotland and I'd be taking a test that day. And I don't know how to describe it. It was very weird. It was one of those moments that it felt like everything you expect it to be, like this overwhelming, but at the same time very, very underwhelming because I was already so convinced that I was pregnant. I already thought that I was. So I took this test and, I mean, you can see, I'll put up the video here. Right, I just got home from Scotland. I just got home from Scotland. I was doing my solo travel trip and I have spent the last week feeling like I'm lying to you guys because I felt strange. I couldn't vlog the trip, which I'm going to explain as I didn't vlog the trip because I wanted to do reels, but actually it's because I was feeling really sick and I have a feeling I'm pregnant, which feels, oh my God, I can't even describe it. I almost feel numb, which is really weird, and I kind of was taking that as a symptom. I felt really flat for the last few days, but I just drove back from Scotland to London by 9:45 in the morning, because although I could have taken a pregnancy test days ago, I didn't want to take one until I was home, and I could see Hugh that evening, and Hugh's at work right now, but I'm home, so I just thought I'd take one, and I'm waiting. It is like, not, that sounds weird, it's just out of my eyesight, resting on the sink. I'm really nervous, and I don't know how long to wait. I'll have to do a video about the first, like the 2-week wait if I am pregnant, because I've been talking to my sister every day wondering if these are real symptoms or imagined symptoms. Like, am I imagining certain things because I know that they're potentially implantation symptoms? I don't know. It's the first month that we've tried, and I never, like, Hugh is over 40, I'm nearly 30, I never expected to be able to get pregnant in the first month. So we shall see. I really want to look down there. I'm really trying not to. Just reading the instructions, because I've never taken one of these before. How am I 29 and trying to conceive, and I've never taken a pregnancy test before? I appreciate, this is like when you buy a house for the first time. God, I'm like shaking. I'm trying not to get excited because there's no way that the first time we try, we manage to get pregnant. Oh my God, how am I? I'm that person. I didn't even check the time. I don't even know when 3 minutes has been. I'm gonna go downstairs. 3 minutes. It's been 3 minutes. And now I don't want to look down because I just think my life has changed forever when I look down, potentially. Potentially not. This could be a huge anticlimax, and now I'm welling up. Oh my God. Should probably wipe that. So as you can see, I was a little overwhelmed, but then I went back into normal Imogen routine mode. So I immediately just went to Sainsbury's. I did the weekly shop. I bought loads and loads of the recommended like foods to stop you getting sick when you're in the first trimester. So I got Werther's Originals from the Lily Pebbles recommendation video. I got Fox's Sucky Sweets. I got rice cakes. I got like corn chicken nuggets, like veggie chicken nuggets. I got some super noodles, like loads of random things that people have recommended to me that are just really easy to eat when you're getting morning sickness. And then I came home and I just watched the TV till Hugh came back from work to tell him. It was a very strange day. I've got to say, it was just, it felt strange because it didn't feel strange. It felt completely normal, and I feel like we are made to believe that it should be this huge moment. Like loads of YouTubers do this like telling their partner moment, and I told Hugh and he just went, "Aww," and gave me a hug. And I think it's because it was our first month trying. It just didn't feel real, and to be honest, it still doesn't feel very real to this day. So I guess fast forward a little bit, we're getting into the first trimester, and I had really bad stomachache, like really bad stomachache on my right hand side, I believe it was. And after it had been there for about 24 hours, I ended up having to go to a walk-in centre because they were a little bit worried that it could be an ectopic pregnancy. So an ectopic pregnancy is when the egg is fertilised and it doesn't move down the fallopian tube, it just gets stuck, and then the pregnancy starts to grow there, not in your womb, which is obviously a huge issue. You can't bring a pregnancy to full term when it's an ectopic pregnancy. So I was a little bit worried, / really worried. And I ended up going to a walk-in centre at like straight after work and staying there for like 4 or 5 hours, to which all they said was, we need to get you in for a scan the next day at the early pregnancy unit. So then I had to go back to the hospital the next day for a scan, and I had an internal scan, and at this stage I was still getting the stomach pains, but it wasn't that bad. But this was the only symptom I was having. So I went for the early pregnancy scan, and these are, I feel like they sound really scary. Like, if I thought it was going to be like a smear test, which I personally really didn't enjoy. I found it really uncomfortable, but actually it's really nothing to worry about at all. It's so it's just so painless. So just the the ultrasound, like, I'm trying hard not to just go like that, but like the stick that they use, the wand that they use to put internally to do the ultrasound scan isn't huge and terrifying, and it's honestly really fine. The ladies are really, or at least the women that I had, you could probably get men I suppose, were just really, they put me at ease, they relaxed me. And then so ensued 3 weeks of going back for more scans because they could see the baby but it wasn't big enough yet, and they didn't, like, there was all these issues around, they couldn't see the pole, and then they couldn't see the sac and all of these things. So I had to keep coming back, and they had to keep doing internal scans, and anyway, the baby is fine. But it really made me think, why don't we share that we're pregnant before 12 weeks? It really, I feel like I told people before 12 weeks because you need support in that time. It is a really, really scary period. 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage these days. That's a terrifying statistic. And the fact that we don't share that early phase, and it's your first pregnancy and you know nothing, like, there is so much that you don't know that you know. I research a lot of everything, and there is so much that I didn't know about being pregnant. And that first 12 weeks and all of the little symptoms that you feel like are adding up to a miscarriage, and they're probably not, are just awful. So I would really encourage anybody actually to just share it. Why not? The only reason people say not to share it is in case you have a miscarriage, but I'm sorry, if I have a miscarriage, I'm telling everybody I need around me to support me. I'm telling work because I would want time off work. I'm telling my friends because I want support, and it's so much easier if you've told them before something bad happens. I mean, I get why some people choose to keep it to themselves, but personally, I don't know why you would ever want to go through one of the most difficult periods in your life, wonderful at the same time, but very difficult, and not share it. Pretend that everything's fine. For 12 weeks, guys, that's 3 months of your life. It is July now, end of July, and I got pregnant late April. That's ages. Okay, rant over. I'm going to do a separate video about that 12-week thing. Anyway, so on to my actual symptoms. Because baby is fine. I have just had my 12-week scan about a week ago. Baby was fine, super low risk for everything. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy yet. However, in 3 weeks we will be finding out. Yeah, so symptoms, I haven't really had an awful lot of the telltale typical symptoms. I didn't get any morning sickness, which, as someone who has emetophobia, I woke up every day worried about. I woke up every day nervous that I was going to be sick, and I would wake up and I would constantly just think, do I feel ill? How does my tummy feel? Do I feel sick? Have I got a headache? Am I extra tired? And that fueled a hell of a lot of anxiety in those first few months for me, but actually, I can't believe I came through completely unscathed. I mean, my sister had to keep reminding me, so I thought I was gonna get very sick, because my sister was very sick with both of her pregnancies pretty much the whole way throughout. So I know it doesn't run in the family, but you just think, you just think you're gonna get whatever your sister got, I was gonna say or your brother, but your brother probably didn't get morning sickness. But actually my sister kept reminding me, just because you're not sick doesn't mean that it's not difficult, and it doesn't mean it's not okay to take it easy and to look after yourself, because I kept feeling guilty for doing nothing and for just needing to sleep, because although I wasn't sick, tiredness, I feel in the first trimester, is so much more than you've ever experienced in your life, like beyond normal levels of tired. I would be falling asleep at like 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I would be sleeping for like 12 hours, easily 12 hours a night. Like, I will lie down on the sofa at 7 o'clock and I can still sleep through to 7 in the morning. It's incredible the amount that your body sleeps, because you are growing a little human being. I mean, it makes sense. Ooh, it makes sense when you think about it, but I wasn't prepared for the amount of... Oh, this is another thing. I get a lot of hiccups now. It drives me mad. I don't think you can be prepared for how tired you're going to be. I'm someone who is always up. Like this morning, I've already done a shoot. I'm filming these videos. I've tidied the house. Like, I'm an active person, but that took a lot. And to be fair, I decorated my bedroom. I decorated the nursery. Like, I still kept going, but it's hard, and I think you need to have somebody reminding you that it's not, like, you're allowed to chill out and do nothing and eat food and relax. That's totally acceptable. Let yourself do it. I wish I'd done it more. So another symptom that I got that I really wasn't expecting was spots. So I don't know if you can see them. They are all under here, all along my chin, and they drove me up the wall. But I got these for about 5 weeks and they are still here. They're not popping up as much, but they're not going. And I mean, I've got makeup covering them a little bit now, but spots I found really difficult because you can't hide it when it's all around here. It's really obvious, and when you're not telling everybody that you're pregnant at 5-6 weeks, although I would second time round, it is actually, it just sucks, you know? It's like when you start to gain your first little bit of pregnancy weight and you feel like you want to explain to everyone, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm not just gaining pounds, I'm pregnant, which is so silly, but that's been going through my mind hugely, even though I've only gained a pound. Honestly, it's pathetic. Yeah. But the acne, I think, was, and I'm so lucky, I've got to say this, I'm so lucky for the acne being one of the biggest things for me, but it really was. It really, other than the tiredness, the acne has really driven me up the wall, and I haven't really found anything that deals with it. So you have to swap all your skincare out. So I swapped my skincare for CeraVe, which is really gentle, really like natural ingredients, because I was using lots of products with retinols in, like anti-aging creams and that sort of thing, and you can't use that when you're pregnant. So I swapped all of that out straight away, and that helped immediately, but it just hasn't gone, and I don't think it's gonna go until the end of the second trimester. That's what I've heard. Hopefully it does go at the end of the second trimester. His fingers crossed. So this one won't be a huge surprise for anyone, but bloating I found really interesting. So you bloat a hell of a lot in your first trimester because your hormones have all slowed down. It's slowing your digestive system so that you can take in all of the nutrients and feed little baby. But I was really surprised by how pregnant you would look, and I don't have a bump yet. So I'm 13 weeks and I don't have a bump, but the bloat makes me look like I have a bump. So once I've eaten breakfast, and sometimes even when I've woken up if I ate really late the night before, I look like I'm like 16 to 20 weeks pregnant, which means dressing is so hard because I'll put on like some high-waisted trousers, which I'm trying to get my wear out of before the belly really kicks in. And within a couple of hours, you can't wear them anymore because it's so painful, or like your high-waisted jeans or something and they're just too tight. So I would also, like, my advice to you would be to just let yourself, like, get some big baggy dresses. Like this is, I'm not got a bump yet, I've not really gained weight, but I've got this huge big baggy dress on because it's just so comfortable, and comfort takes on a new level when pregnant, I have to say, especially in this heat, because it's been like a 30-degree heat wave in London. I have been dying, so comfort is the dream. So the next symptom I would say is boobs. Boobs have hurt a hell of a lot from about week 7, and I was really glad actually when this kicked in because I knew that this was a pregnancy symptom, and because I wasn't getting any of the typical pregnancy symptoms, I was really hoping for something like boobs, like sore boobs, to kick in. And my boobs started to grow, definitely, really quickly, and then also the pain as well. So I can't lie on my front anymore, not because of my stomach, but because the boobs hurt. They've hurt since week 7, and that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. They just ache. Mainly when I like lean on them now. They're fine walking around, but at one stage I couldn't even walk around the house without a bra on. It was awful. And then also, this is probably too much information for most of you, so if you don't like gross bodily function details, fast forward. Discharge is something I never really get, but in pregnancy you definitely get it, and mine has been like a creamy yellow, which really freaked me out, and I had so many swabs because I was really nervous that I had some kind of like weird infection, but that turned out to be totally fine, as do most things in pregnancy, I believe. It's just your body acting weirdly like it's never done before because it's never grown a human being before. And that's kind of all of the symptoms that I've had. It's been a really, other than exhausting, it's been a really straightforward first trimester, which I'm hugely lucky for and hugely appreciative of. Although there are a few things actually before I go that have really surprised me about pregnancy, which I just didn't know. So baths, you're not supposed to take hot baths while you're pregnant, which I had no idea about. So we just had our bathroom renovated, and I haven't had a bath pretty much since the bathroom was renovated. I've had like 2 or 3. We've got this beautiful roll top bath, but because I haven't had a bath thermometer, so I've been worried it's going to be too hot. So you're not supposed to have it above body temperature so that you don't get the baby too hot, basically. So that was bizarre for me. Not having coffee was easier than I thought, I have to say. I'm missing my coffee, but I think because I didn't cut down to decaf, I just cut everything out except I have 1 decaf a week. It was easier, I think, than I thought it was ever going to be. I went from like 5 coffees a day to none, and I think because I took it as like a fun challenge, it was yeah, easier than expected. What else have I found really weird? Not being able to get your hair dyed. I would love to go and get in fact I'm getting my hair done next weekend, but it hasn't been done since April now. No, maybe even March. And I'm someone who gets my hair done like every 6 weeks, so that has been a weird one for me, because you're not supposed to get it dyed in the first 12 weeks. Apparently your hormones can make the colours go crazy, and it's just not great for babies to have extra chemicals. I'm whittering on a little bit. I guess I just wanted to say that if you are in the first trimester or worried about getting pregnant or trying to get pregnant right now, I would just say don't overanalyze another person's pregnancy and how those symptoms could affect you before you're in it, because I was the person that has been delaying getting pregnant for years. The main reason being because I was scared of the first trimester, and actually I've been incredibly lucky and my body has just thrown itself into it and really enjoyed the pregnancy, and my body actually seems to be, other than the spots, flourishing during pregnancy. Like, I'm still working out every day, I use my Peloton, that was something that a few mornings that I did feel a little bit sick, I did just get straight on the Peloton bike and it completely stopped any sickness for me. So I just say don't overthink it until you're in there, because once you're in it, you're just on the ride and you're on the journey, and you have to move forward, so you learn to deal with it a lot better. I'm petrified of sickness and doctors and hospitals, and the number of hospital visits that I've done in the last 13 weeks, and I have coped and I have prospered, and I've actually felt a lot better for it, and so proud of myself, more proud of myself than I have done in ages actually, for how I've dealt with injections and that sort of thing, and being in hospitals while pregnant with COVID, all of that rubbish. Yeah, just don't compare what could come don't give yourself anxiety based on what could come or what someone else's experience has been, because your pregnancy will be completely different. Even if I was to get pregnant again, I'm sure it would be completely different. So just know that you can't predict it, and that's kind of wonderful, because you could have a very easy, carefree first trimester. You know, don't listen to all the videos of people saying that it's always really, really tough, because sometimes it's not. And I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna do like a couple of like shorter videos, I think, in the next few months, just talking about the pregnancy, talking about the baby, talking about renovating the nursery, which we've just done. So do shout if there's any details you want to know, or if you have any questions. I'm going to do a pregnancy Q&A in the next couple of weeks as well, because I took some questions from you guys on my Instagram. So thanks guys, make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed the video, follow me on Instagram, that's where I am every day, it's One Slow Sunday, and I will catch up with you again hopefully soon, even though this is my first video in 6 months. I'm hoping I'll do another one soon.